Thank you.
Hey, hey, hey. Just a few on the tree.
Oh, that's nice. Very
No problem.
Okay. All right. Good morning.
Morning.
Ladies and gentlemen. Meeting is about to on. I'd like to welcome everyone here. I hope that it will be a spirited meeting, one that is meaningful to us in many different ways, and somehow will basically put us or align us on the path to in terms of where we want to go. Before we continue, we'd like to pray and I'll pray. So let us pray. Dear Lord, we're asking for your blessings, your mercies. We're asking for your guidance as we go through this meeting. We're hoping that you will open our minds, you will help us to understand what is being presented to us so we can make the right decisions for the Heart Trust and for the Jamaican people. We are asking for your guidance as we go through our everyday lives. We have here with us members from various aspects of society within the Heart Trust. We have Ready TV here, we have ECOV here. I'm asking that you may continue to bless them as they continue to put out products that will actually benefit the Jamaican people in many ways. We ask for your continued mercies in your holy name.
Amen.
All right. Let us put our any apologies?
Yes, Colonel Rickman is not going to be here. He is off the island. And Professor Pinnock is going to be late, as well as member Elliot Navarro.
Okay. Mrs. Gittens is also late. Just apologize.
Okay.
All right. If there's any declaration of interest, any conflict of interest, I'm kindly asking that members and visitors alike should ensure that it's stated for the record, and so we know as we go through this meeting you can declare it. It depends on the issues that come up or the various matters that is being discussed on the agenda. So we'd like to, is there anything else we'd want to add to the agenda? Anything else to discuss? I'll open that later again after the presentation in case anything that would come. We'll discuss it a bit. All right, so so we'll suspend standing orders to do the presentation, including the minutes, and we'll ask Ready TV, Ready Net, Mr. Darian and his team. They're here to pretty much share with us their products, and for us now to see the partnership that can be created with Heart. I believe that with the way the world is going now and the access is there, right, in terms of reaching the people that we want to reach, and he's here to actually share with us his products that can actually help us in that regard. So Mr. Darren, over to you.
Thank you, Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask first, in terms of declaring interest, Chairman, that the people that wear in the purple shirt and purple tie on that side are not part of the party or dealing with our purple water bottle.
You're here to provide support.
It just happens to be a good coincidence.
My shirt purple, it's not purple.
Watch out. Chairman, thank you, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this opportunity. Just to, by way of introductions, Adrian Keys is our Chief Operating Officer, and Adrian, by the way, was with me from the very early days of DB&G. So we go a long way back, and when I needed somebody to come and straighten out operational issues and accounting, back office and so on, I called for who I know. Kia comes to us from, she's Jamaican, but she comes to us from BET out of the US, and she's our content manager, and PBC and PBS out of the US. So she has, both commercial content as well as education, public broadcasting background. But she's, back home, and we invigorated her to come back home to be part of this project. What is interesting, Chairman, is that your target market and our target market are perfectly aligned. We set out on this project, we're the only pure wireless telecommunications operator. That's our goal. And there was a reason why it's purely wireless. Our license allows us to run cable and fiber and all kinds of things. But as chairman of Cable and Wireless, I was introduced to wires. And I never want to see a wire again for the rest of my life.
Talking about money or
Both.
you have to be careful with how you wire the money.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the physical cable.
That wire.
Physical cable. I'm happy for wire transfers. Coming in, yeah. The reality is that it was my experience, and I think there are a lot of techies around the room. Fiber and cable and anything physical is supposed to be more reliable. It is supposed to be. I just think in the developing world, it will never be. And it's not Jamaica. I had the same experience in Panama, in Latin America, and so on. Then the constant cable breaks, the constant digging up of the road. We just don't have the same kind of regulatory environment in the developing world that they have in the first world that protects hard assets the same way. So there's no way a Chinese company could come into Miami and just start dig up road, tear off fiber, 2,000 businesses out of service, and there's not a massive lawsuit and penalties, and it just wouldn't happen. But you saw what happened here, and it happens, and that's the top end of the spectrum. But the bottom end of the spectrum is just theft. Anything physical will seem to steal. And I'm not talking, I'm not trying to badmouth us, but you know what kind of country we are in terms of, the discipline that is not there. And so we set out to be wireless to avoid that, because not that wireless don't have its own challenges, but it's just far fewer points of failure. When one tower goes down, I know what to fix, and I can set a time frame to get it fixed. I know what to secure. When you're not, when you have hundreds and hundreds of miles of fiber or cable, when it breaks or a piece is stolen, the time it takes to first of all find out where it breaks, then to send out somewhere to get it fixed, and by the time you get that fixed, another piece along that same road break is very challenging. So we set out to be pure wireless, because the target market that we are trying to reach are the people that can't afford fiber, cable, and that cost of maintenance. So our mission is to provide, and this is very quick background, affordable suite of wireless digital services. We've created a unique business model that serves primarily the masses. That's our first target. It doesn't mean that we won't get other customers, but our primary focus are the masses. And when you would have seen, I'm sure, in your own programs, the number of people that need these kinds of services, the number of people that want it but just simply can't either afford it or it's not available to them. It's privately Jamaican owned and operated, but we do have a public intention by 2021. It could be before, so we intend to list on the stock exchange. And the first service was launched in July, which is just 2 years now, with key strategic objectives. One is to establish the Ready brand. That's the first thing we need to do, just get into people's heads. That brand as an affordable, convenient, and high quality brand. There is an opportunity for a substantial free-to-air and pay TV digital market. The only two broadcasters at the moment, CBM and TBJ, are both broadcasting analog, which has both capacity, number of channels, and quality issues across the country. So TBJ broadcasts one channel. We're a digital broadcaster, so we can broadcast over 200 channels and so on. And in high def, not analog. But we're the same broadcaster. So that was the opportunity. Then we want to establish some kind of currency in the market that can easily be accessed by the mass market. The good news is that Digicel created a mindset about prepaid services, they set the foundation for that. There's nobody in Jamaica that doesn't know what prepaid is. 90% of the mobile market is prepaid. And essentially prepaid has just become a very accepted way of buying telecommunications services. So we need to establish that kind of currency and we've done that with Ready Credit. And then we anticipate the digital switchover, which is and the analog switch off, which is concurrent. It's now scheduled for 2021. We expect a substantial piece of it to start next year, and essentially that is TVG and CVM are going to turn off the old analog. Everybody in Jamaica is going to need a set-top box. That's the cheapest way to get it done. Even the US did it that way, and so we're positioning ourselves as well to be that platform that can deliver very quickly 200 channels, of which free-to-air could be 10 or 20 of those channels. So you're talking about capacity now will be there in every household, every nook and cranny, without the need for internet service and so on. So that alone should tell you where we're going and the kind of opportunity it is for educational and training content. And just give you an idea of who the board is, myself and David, who's my chief partner and the technology guru behind all of this, who's an expert in digital broadcasting. Peter Reed, who is the chairman, he's at VMBS. Shaggy, who you know as an entertainer, but the reality is he's far more than an entertainer. He's a media mogul, and so the links with the media world are tremendous. Gerard and Magnus both worked extensively in the telecommunications industry, both for cable and wireless, and Magnus used to be with Digicel. He's now in a telecoms firm in Peru, which gave us the opportunity, quite frankly, for one of our products. And I'll talk a little bit about that. He sits on our board, but he also sits on our board in a major corporation in Latin America. So he has been able to push some things our way by having that linkage. So he lived forever in Jamaica, by the way, and is married to a Jamaican. So it's not just a. And then Shamina represents she runs CVM, but she actually represents the Leachin investment. Michael Leachin is a shareholder, is a significant shareholder. He's not a majority shareholder, but he does have a piece, and so on. And then the second service, we actually launched ReadyNet as a trial, and we'll talk a little bit about that because Hart has helped us in that trial. And it's a two-way street, believe me, and I'll explain all of that. I gave the chairman a little bit of background yesterday, but it is Jamaica needs to understand where we fit in the world, I think. We think of ourselves as big and bad and beautiful, and we are, but to the rest of the world, we're a dot. And sometimes, you know, you have to sell yourself to make sure that you avail yourself of all the services that are available to you, because people are not running you down. Jamaica has a population of 3 million people, per capita 5,000 US. You know, Viasat, who we're doing the satellite program with, you know, we lobbied through Magnus because he's doing that project with them in Latin America. And it was only by chance we got him to come, the Viasat guys, to come to Jamaica on the way back from a meeting. And we rolled out the red carpet. The Prime Minister was fantastic. the Minister of Science and Technology, and everybody rolled out the red carpet. We organized meetings. I think I'm almost sure somebody thought, Ed, the chairman, yes, would have met with them. And basically, we had to sell Jamaica because we're so tiny. The guy says to me, Chris, you have to understand, if we got 100% of Jamaica's market, our share price would move. They're in Colombia, but you know they're rolling out thousands and thousands and thousands in Brazil, and you know a population of 270 million and so on. So it's not a matter they don't like Jamaica. It's just, you know, money goes where it can make the most money, and in this case, capacity, which is what Jamaica doesn't have, goes where it can make the most money. Satellite capacity even more so because it's limited. It's X amount of capacity is going to be up there, and they're going to share it out wherever it makes the most money. So we do have an opportunity though. So all companies fully Jamaican owned and full transparency. We're here in Jamaica, we're incorporated in Jamaica, there's no offshore St. Lucia companies. And we took that decision very early because look, if we're going to deal with licensing and Jamaican organizations and government, everybody must know who they're dealing with. Who are the shareholders, who are the directors, and so on. All the shareholders are Jamaican, by the way. So, look at the Jamaican broadcast market, television and cable. There are 880,000 households, 800,000 have at least one TV set. I have 14, by the way, and that's another story. But I'm a sports fanatic, and there's something about when I get up from watching Arsenal play and I go to the bathroom and you miss you're waiting 90 minutes for the goal and you miss the one moment. So I have TV scattered throughout my house.
You miss Jaka.
Eh?
You miss Jaka.
Right. Yeah, that's another story there. So 800,000 have at least one TV set, but only 190,000 actually have cable. That's the official figure from Broadcast Commission. I believe it's more. It's probably about 40,000 more, but it's not far off. You know what I mean? Because of the little community cable and so on. But that's a figure that's usually quite shocking to most people because you think everybody have cable, just like you probably think everybody have internet. We're very spoiled in the corporate area. We live in a dream world here. And then you can see the official numbers. No, they're probably about 600,000. And let's say even if you took off 100,000, it's 500,000 people in households in Jamaica does not have pay TV or access to the internet, right? Then you look on the internet penetration. Again, I'm using official numbers, and we probably have a bit more, but it's not going to be far off. So it's about 34% of households with an average speed of 9.6 megs, which means some people are way up in getting the 20, 40 megs or 50, but a lot of people still on the 1 and 2. And so when you look on you could define true broadband as 25 megs per second like FCC. It's probably less than 20% of households have that as true broadband, can stream, can share, have, you know, I mean, I ran into somebody the other day at a place, I can't remember the name of the community, but it's the one bar in the community that has internet, and they're doing it through a microwave link with our individual service provider. You have to pay 27,000 Jamaican for install, and he pays 3,000 a month for 2 megabits per second. And he said, boss, I'm grateful, because as he put it, it was in the dark before, and now it's in the light. Right? So there's a massive digital divide, and that affects everybody in this room who are trying to do things. Us trying to hire staff who are educated, you guys trying to develop human capital, who this is supposed to change their lives. This is the platform, you know, this is so we share a common purpose, but we need to look at why this happens to find a solution for both of us. And so one is the affordability. We have to really realistically look at how people earn money in this country. More than 60% earn by task work, daily enterprise. You know, task work, clean up that yard, I give $500. Wash the car, $500. Daily enterprise, like, okay, today's mangoes that I've managed, how much I sell today, and then how much I have to spend, or weekly or bi-weekly wage. So they will never truly be able to afford a monthly recurring bill. And so what you'll find is, yes, they really want internet, or they really want pay TV, but after 2 months, when the next month come and they haven't sold enough mangoes that month, it's going to get cut off, and they go into arrears. And we've seen it. We've seen people take on our services when I was at Cable and Wires, take on Digicel, and they need it for their kids, but they can't keep it up because they don't have a regular salary. And then you just look on the PAYE, how many people are on a PAYE that have a monthly salary kind of thing. And so the numbers, you just do the maths. And when you look at the monthly recurring fees, it's $55 on average for a cable TV bill, $23 for internet bill on average. You realize with our per capita, our month, and you divide it by 12, and an affordable internet is supposed to be 2% of monthly income. The maths don't add up. You know, that is the problem, affordability. But it's not just affordability, it's also access. So you have about 350,000 households that don't have economic access because of those issues. You do have two mobile providers, and I know we cost them, and the last article I saw by the minister should be ripping them up. I'm telling you, they're not that bad. They're not. And I'm not saying it because I used to work for one of them. They are not. We are actually well off compared to other. Most countries, our per capita income don't have two telecoms operators operating like these two do, and the facilities we have. So I'm not saying that's an excuse for them, but it's not bad for the economics of the country. And therefore, but the price that they have to pay, because again, they don't have the volumes. At $8 a gig, people are not going to be, and that's a prepaid, and that's on average. People are not going to be able to stay connected for long. So you have this intermittent connectivity. So and the truth is, social media is just so popular as an entertainment. If they do get a little chance to connect, what they're doing, they're not sitting down watching a whole training video. They're not going to sit down and watch it's hard. They can't afford that. And then there's physical access. There's about 260,000 households. There's no physical access, even if they wanted to. So really only about a couple 100,000 people are that of a truly digital society. Probably everybody in this room. But we are the privileged few. Privileged. About 68% of all smartphones now are smartphones. And everybody gets excited about that. It's great. At any one time, no more than 20-some% are connected. At any one time. Because they can't afford to be connected entirely. It's not like the States. You pay all you can eat plan, and it costs you, I think the last one I saw $40, $39.99. That's a T-Mobile with an offer now. All you can eat $39.99. That's not going to happen here for now. Capacity issues. So when you look at that digital world, and it's a good time now to be looking at it. It is great. So I don't want to be pessimistic. A lot of people are switching over to smartphones. There's lots of televisions. There's one in every household. Virtually, there's tablets and so on. There's phablets. So there's a lot of instruments out there, digital screens. But there's no actually lots of digital platforms being built out. That's important. You have the 4G rolling out. I know Digicel is rolling out more and more 4G, and Flow are putting up more and more 4G towers. There's more fiber being rolled out. There's now satellite, which we're trialing, and we're working through that whole process with the ministry. And again, you guys were a part of that. There's the microwave. Those little operators, they're buying little wholesale packs from a Flow and a Digicel and sending it directly to people's home. It's not great, and it's quite expensive, but at least again, it's an opportunity. And there's no digital video broadcasting. There's a digital broadcast network being built by us. So you have now the foundations of a digital platform. And because it's digital, we now have convergence, and that's the exciting part. Any screen, digital, can access any digital platform. So you have smart TVs that can simply go on the internet and take content. You also have phones that can go with a dongle, pick up the digital broadcast without touching data. So you can have this is now just a screen. That's all it is. In fact, it's now called a handset. They don't even call it phones anymore. It's a handset. And so this handset can stream internet, or it can do a digital broadcast and get the same content. Right? So the opportunities now that didn't exist 3 years ago are endless. And therefore, people like Hart need to have that multi-screen, multi-distribution strategy. You're not developing a streaming product. You're developing your content, and then you have all these distribution platforms you can distribute over. The beauty about broadcast, well, we'll talk a little bit about that, but with broadcast, you now can get that content in the home with the set-top box, in your car with the TV. So all them taxis that with the used cars out of Japan and they have the digital TV that don't work, they actually now work. We just haven't told them about it yet. So you get the car receiver. Because we have to, all of these things carry responsibilities, right? And you don't want to start all of a sudden people watching TV and driving. But boats are using them, and of course the phones. Now, free-to-air television still rules. All of us as techies, and we get excited about the internet. But globally and in Jamaica, free-to-air still rules. It is more hours is consumed, billions and billions of hours every day, free-to-air, for very obvious reasons. So it is still the most important digital platform. It gives you access, not just free to air, but you can put it on a cable network, you can put it in direct home broadcast. Limited broadcast is limitless. Linear broadcast is limitless. It doesn't matter whether one person have on a TV or a billion gazillion. It's linear, it's broadcast. And so that is how countless hours of video is able to be consumed free of cost. And the distribution is so much cheaper. So when you're looking at a digital strategy about distribution, you really should be thinking about how much content can I broadcast, and the interactive side is the internet. Because broadcast is consumed differently. You turn on your TV and you leave it. It's your companion through the day, while you're cooking, while you're, I brought two set-top boxes here, Chairman. One of them is one obviously for the chairman, because I need him to take it over and test and see how it goes. But if anybody can tell me what the most popular cable channel is in the entire Caribbean, the most popular, by far, and when I tell you it's nothing close, it's up here, and everybody else is down here.
ESPN.
Nope.
Caribbean and Latin America.
Caribbean and Latin America.
Weather?
What channel would you come home and just turn on and just leave it all evening, all night, and for hours and hours and hours?
Anyone that has football.
You? Nobody here is a parent?
PBS.
PBS? Interesting.
Nick Jr. It is the world's best babysitter. But if you have best guest cartoon network, you can't. In other words, because people just turn on that TV for them kids come home at 1 o'clock, and it is hours and hours and hours until the child go to sleep. It's the world's best babysitter. Think about if that was data streaming. It can't happen. And that's how television is consumed. Vast quantities of hours of video is TV. Interactivity is internet. And I think that's one of the things that you have to get your mind around, that you really want people to be able to have access to hundreds and hundreds of hours of video. You want them doing it. They can afford it on TV. They cannot afford it on internet. And the truth is, the country doesn't have the capacity. If every TV was to, I hear people talking about the pay TV going down, and free TV going down. Listen, if every TV was to turn on in Jamaica and it was a smart TV, this country would lock down. The country don't have the capacity, physical capacity, right? Just like you see all the problems you have now with mobile, and it's only 20% are connected at any one time. God help us if 50% get connected one time to the data network. You all know it, right? The capacity just would not be there. So that's the first thing that I want to really emphasize, and it's not just Jamaica, it is globally, the relevance of broadcast TV. I put up that because the biggest advertiser in the US on free-to-air broadcast is Amazon. Let that sink in. The biggest online, the internet, when you think about internet, Amazon must come to mind as one of the internet companies. They spend the most money advertising on free-to-air TV because they have to reach the audience. How do you reach the audience? Free-to-air, and they sell the services on free-to-air. So that's a very simple lesson. So it's a basic building block of a digital society. We're building out a full-fledged network. Right now we have about 56% coverage. In another 2 weeks, when we turn on Montego Bay, we'll have about 70% coverage by households. By middle of next year, we'll have 95% coverage. And by 95% coverage, it means that we are poised for a digital revolution. We're talking about not just getting the TVJs, CVMs, and Love TV in high def, but 10 to 20 other high def free-to-air channels in people's homes. We have been positioning, and this is a great opportunity provided for us to talk to you about it. We've been positioning to the government that those free-to-air should be primarily educational, vocational from a government perspective. There's so much content that we see on the internet that it's great, but it needs to be on broadcast as well and free in people's homes, right? And so what we've been proposing are things like educational channels. It makes no sense in today's world that, and this is not a personal plug for Campion, but okay, if the best maths teacher is at Campion.
Oh, I see. I see the
No, that's not why I don't even like purple German.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Serious, I don't. But if the best, but it's what I'm willing to do for a brand.
Cause.
For cause. Who can tell me what's the best marketing color? Sharpest on the eyes, harshest on the eyes, which makes the eyes pick up quickest.
Right.
Purple.
No, it's too late. Red. Red. That's why all stop is scientific, you know. That's why all stop signs are in red. You need to see. The second on the spectrum is purple. But I couldn't use red because somebody owned that already. And the only person that owned purple, you can't think of a company. You think of KC.
Yep.
I can compete with a KC. Right? So that's the story behind purple. So
don't say that to anybody.
I know because, but the truth is I have to tell the Calabar man them no, I have nothing to do with KC. In fact, they've asked me to come up with a green box for them.
And I'm happy that Ed is not here. You have to hear that.
I know, it would be disturbed. But we've been saying, if you have a maths teacher, that's great. And yeah, sure, people can go to school, but they need to be able to have access to that same class. And with digital broadcasting, it is so easy. Our entire heading is IP, or we broadcast from anywhere. In fact, we put up a live Heart Trust channel last night. You know, it took us a few minutes, put together some content, put in a playlist. Kia runs that, and we can go live from anywhere. So we can go live from this room. So we're broadcasting now across the country, live.
Anybody that's watching that channel is
You
seeing
see,
your
you know?
face.
Right? So I need you. Now the educators and the people who are in charge of developing. I don't know how to do it. Developing the human capital side of it, the programs that can be done. But we can do it at the drop of a pin, very inexpensively. You know, the world is now our oyster. And the truth is, we have that opportunity that probably you don't get in the US. There's a big advantage that we do have, is that the cost of things like spectrum is not like in the US. And there's spectrum available for us to do this kind of thing. This can't happen in the States. It can't, because you'd have to be paying billions for the spectrum that we are licensing here. That's not being used. So we have that opportunity. Now it's for you guys to use it. Create channels. Not just one, two, it could be many more. And so on. And just to give you an idea, look, it's very easy access. The technology, I'm not going to bore you with the details, but you put up a broadcast tower, it's broadcasting just like TVJ's tower is broadcasting, except we're broadcasting in digital. So the one channel that TVJ has, channel 7, we take that channel 7 and we split it up digitally into 15 high-def channels with a fraction of the power that TVJ needs. That's why countries around the world have switched over to digital, because instead of the one channel, you can now have 15 and high-def instead of one analog. And TVJ's tower is 10,000 watts. Our tower is 1,000 watts. So imagine you have 10,000 watts being able to push one analog channel, and we have 1,000 watts pushing 15 each transmitter. And everybody in the area picks up antenna. It's just like TVJ. And then you go to the pharmacy, pick up a box, take it home, you set it up yourself, I will tell you that's a challenge because Jamaicans don't read, but it's a challenge everyone around the world had in their switchover. And the first set-up boxes, we just had screens that they should read to set up. Of course, everybody just press okay, and just go to the end and it did not work. Like, did you read the screen? No. What screen? And you have to go through the screens, but then said they don't see it, and so you have to send someone to put up the antenna for them and so on. We've replaced it now with a video, but they still find a way to get through it. But you pick up, it's off the shelf. It's a can of beans now in terms of having access. It took us 5 minutes to set up here, to have pay TV right here in this room. We didn't even know you had a service in this room, right? And everybody in Jamaica will now have that, has that access. You hook it up to your television, you set up your antenna like old time JBC. And one of the things we found interesting is that a lot of people don't have asked, I hope we're not advertising. And we started, But as I asked, who was that? Earlier, how many times would I have to advertise a Ferrari on TV before you guys will go and buy it? You could advertise that 1,000,000 times. You're probably, after a while, you don't even listen to the ad because you just think it's out of your league. That's what we found initially when we were advertising, because we thought, okay, man, people would be. No, but they think, but if you see their income, and they think that is never going to be able to be accessed, that ad is wasted. Yeah. So we literally had to go into communities with we created these little boxes with a little TV and a little battery and a set-top box to show them this is what you can get, and it's prepaid, just like mobile, and all of a sudden we go into the community and show them. So it's been a learning curve for us. And then of course you're buying credit the same places where those same machines that print out that you're going and ask for DigiCredit and Flow Credit, they have Ready Credit. And in fact, what we've done is to integrate mobile phones as the interactive, and this is important too. We did it through SMS texting. Why? God, none of them have credit data on their phone. So it's a text message they send that buys channel packages. It's an immediate thing. You send a text to buy a one pack of channels that's 30 for the day, it's 150 Jamaican dollars. Or there's some channels that are sold by themselves. You can buy one channel. We don't stack either. So the old model was you pay a basic, and then when you want the sports pack, you buy the sports pack, and you want the movie pack, you buy the by the time you're done is $11,000, $12,000. No. This is a prepaid business model. So if it's one channel you want and that's all you want, that's all you buy. And if you don't have the money tomorrow, tough. And then I have money again the next day and buy some credit, I can buy. So like a Rush channel, the English Premier League, we'll find a lot of people buy the 1 days on Saturday and Sunday.
For $300.
Right? Rush is how much? I think it's a little bit more than 300. 200 a day? Okay.
Makes sense.
Right?
Because if I have a sports bar.
Why am I? Yeah, exactly. And we find that globally, the average number of channels you watch is 5. It's like 5.6 is the average. That's a global standard. But you're paying for 150 or 175 every month. Right?
People don't believe people will buy a 1 day.
So when we first started and we went to banks and tried to raise money, and we were like, who would buy a cable for 1 day? It's by far our biggest seller, 1 day. A lady used to have Logic One. She's an insurance salesperson. She was $6,000 a month on Logic. She couldn't keep up the payments. Insurance is also an up and down thing for her. Yeah. And so but she had a 4-year-old. Was killing her. So she went and tried our box, and she realized that when she buys now, she was paying $6,000 a month. She buys a kids pack, which is 5 kids channels, Disney, Nick Jr. and so on, for $400 for the month. She buys the pack that has VH1 because Lifetime because of what's the name of the girl? Spice was on Love on Hip Hop came on Monday night, so she bought that. And the rest of the time she realized she watched TVJ News because she's too tired in the evening when she come home to watch. She's spending $1,200 a month. and she don't watch 1 second less of television than what she was doing before. But you know, realize that she didn't watch that much. So that by the way, that integration, we're awarded integrating the SMS text into the broadcast. We're awarded the National Innovator of the Year last year because it really is a. Thank you. It's not me. It's these guys and David. And David.
He's the innovator.
He's the innovator. You know, we call him the madman. He sits in a lab and he works, and he does it knowing the customer. It's one thing to have technology, but you have to do it with people tailored to our customer base. And so that somebody will come home and just buy a channel pack. But that integration allows many more things because you now have a means for people to sit in their homes and interact with the broadcast. So that's just the beginning. Buy a pack. We realize we can do so many other things. People can, maybe not when the gamblers here, people can place a bet.
Ready bets.
People can buy something else because they're now interacting with the screen. They can ask a teacher a question and it comes up on screen. And everybody can see, and it's done in a way that they can afford, meaning it's an SMS text message. They don't have to have a data pack on their phone. We're doing the one with the data as well, but we just know there's far more people without data than we. So, you know, our vision is to have, and we've been consistent. You can check every presentation I've made to every prime minister and every minister since we started this project. Heart has been one of the key ones that we thought. Human capital development, having your own 24/7 channel as a base. What you add on are the things like on internet where people can go back and get the video on demand. Okay, they missed the class, that particular class. Then it integrates with all your certification programs, you know, the testing and so on, and that can be done online. And they go to a Wi-Fi center if they don't have at home or so on. But they can at least get the schedule of this is when the classes are coming on. I want to train to be a hairdresser, where we know that the hairdressing program is 2 o'clock, you know, in the day, bam, 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 and so on. Right? So we really think, and it's not just on Ready TV. What we've created is a digital distribution platform. So yes, to the home, yes, an individual can get their own box, but we can also drop off your channel with a set-top box at Flow, head in at digital at no cost, at little cost. It's very little because it's just a box, and you're connected to the network. So in fact, we're doing that now for CBM. We're doing it for TVJ because for them to get their content to a head end to rebroadcast is a data connection, and quite a bit of data is needed if you're doing a high def channel kind of thing. Where we're now everywhere already in high def. All it takes is a box. You go to the head end at Cornwall, and all of a sudden you're injected into there. So you now have the ability to distribute your channel, not just to homes, but to cable head ends. This is in the air for everybody, but it's also to cable head ends. Very cost effective. We can produce and do live recorded content for you, new classes. You know, this building should have a little green screen room now. That maybe there's somebody comes in as a guest lecturer and does something on a, you know, or some inspirational person is going to give a talk. And so every Heart Academy, you know, all the students can get to see it live kind of thing and participate, send back questions without needing data. I'm not saying data is not important. It is very important. It's going to be the main interactivity. But until you have that, at least get the distribution of your content. So, and I've been going through looking at a bunch of stuff which I never, just in preparation for this meeting. Content that you have is fantastic. But unless somebody have the internet and have data, they're not gonna burn. Very difficult. And we've been going out because we go out into the field. We kind of know what those homes look like. The good news, that figure that I put up there, 800,000 households have at least a TV. There's some really nice TV sets a lot of people have in this country. I'll give you an example. The set-top box, the Broadcast Commission forced us to put in at the back of the box an RF out. Right? Because they say, oh, the people, analog TV them have, and it's only that. I don't say find one yet. One anywhere. When you see the big, you see this a lady about Barbara from Money. Oh, lovely, the smart, the 65-inch smart TV she have down there in Fletcher's Land. We put on a red TV box.
She's watching DVD.
She's watching DVD, but she's telling her, we're asking about she put on her antenna and get TVG and CBM, but she doesn't even realize that the smart part need internet in it. But she have a smart TV, and so she thinks I have high def because I have a smart TV. That's what she's saying to her. She don't have a clue that is an analog feed, and wasn't that bad the feed, but it's still analog. It's a little fuzzy, grainy. And it's only 2 channels to get, so she doesn't understand the use of a smart TV. But she has a smart TV.
It's big.
Barbara up in Molitor, who you will meet shortly, have a smart TV too that some nephew or somebody must give her. She says an ornament because not even TVG and CDM is up there in analog. So but the good news is everybody has a TV. And that one TV, the beauty about a television, it can serve a whole household, and in some cases it serves a little community. You know, so we definitely want to do that with you. You have the channel space available, and you guys have the content. We could do it tomorrow if you wanted to. We could start tomorrow.
We've already done it.
Right, we've already done it. And we have the channel management capabilities. We're managing a bunch of channels. We know how to do it cheaply. And I'll tell you, a lot of people, and I was asked a question one time, how could we start a channel? And actually it was a cable wireless. And I was like, and they were like thinking, how could we possibly have the money to start a channel? So you clearly don't understand what a channel is nowadays. Is that a channel is a laptop. And that one laptop might be running 5 or 6 channels being broadcast with the different software they have now. You just have to know what you're doing. But that's a channel. It's a broadcast channel. The whole channel. Sportsmax was started on a laptop in the corner of my office at DB&G. That's when I started Sportsmax. And it's now broadcast in 26 countries around the Caribbean. So, ReadyNet. This is we're also very excited about because, again, it's taking internet into places that we don't believe mobile or fixed internet can economically serve. But satellite is with the new high throughput satellites that are available, that capacity that's being put up, not for us. It's not being put up for us. Everybody's attacking Latin America. We just happen to fall in the footprint. And we've gotten the attention of a major provider, and we're in final throes with the government about rolling out ReadyNet, satellite provided internet. We started a trial August 1, internet anytime, anywhere. Viasat is a leading global operator. You go on all the airlines now, it's Viasat providing them internet. Right? Because of the technology that they've developed that really has changed the satellite throughput, the capacity that satellites have now. So Viasat 2 has a 300 gigabits per second capacity. We are only getting the tail end of Viasat 2, so there's a limited amount left on Viasat 2 that they're making available to Jamaica, only really because they had to serve Puerto Rico too. So by pointing a beam back this way, all of a sudden we fell into it. And it was a race because some people in Haiti were after it. But we rolled out the red carpet and so on. But Viasat 3, which is being launched January 2021, is virtually unlimited. It's a terabit of capacity. And so we're earmarked here to get a whole bunch more. So we're going to start with what they have, which is likely to be about 1,500 VSATs. We can carve it up in a number of ways, but it's likely to be about 1,500 VSATs because of different products. And satellite is not rocket science now. We're not the only ones that are doing now satellite. Everybody's launching their satellite projects because it really is a cost-effective way of reaching the underserved. areas where people are not going to roll fiber to, areas where nobody's going to put up a 4G tower, broadcast tower, and even if they put up a 4G broadcast tower, it won't have the same capacity capabilities.
So Chris, because we might not have a lot of time later on, in terms of what you mentioned here, going back to heart and looking at the students, you spoke about the students in the hinterland.
Mm-hmm.
You spoke about perhaps a center that they can go to. But I want to know how this can actually, most of the students, they don't really have data, they don't have all of this. And that's why I wanted also USF here as well to somewhat support initiatives like these. How can we get those students on board? And how soon do you think the possibility of that happening?
So we have two sites, Hart Kenilworth and Hart Rockfort, where we have the
Outside
trials.
of the sites itself. So the ones are, for me, we have students. Remember I told you about Ivor Cottage. There's no.
Where is that again? St. Cat.
Ivor Cottage is on the mountain side.
Of where?
St. Elizabeth. It's on the Santa Cruz Mountains on the side.
Right.
Right.
So
Going
in
down-
20 minutes.
Going down into
If,
going
with-
Malvern and then go back down the hill all the way down. Why I said that is those potential students or prospective students won't have access to a campus. We want to know, can they use their mobile phones to access all of
Yes, they can. Right now, they probably already have Ready TV, but they can also. We could schedule as a test a further trial because we got an extension from Viasat, by the way. The trial finished October 31, but they extended it. The facility where the licensing is going on. We could see what we could set up something there, even just for you guys to see. Pick a spot, and that's basically what the government did, you know. They told us, I said to them, we can do internet anywhere, anytime. Give me 2 hours.
Yeah, because what we
And
want.
they picked these 4 locations.
Okay. Because what we want is, we want to go to the students. We want to reach the unattached youths. We want to get to the deep, or we classify as deep rural communities.
This is Molitor, Chairman. In 2 hours, we had
Chairman, that's a tourist destination.
Molitor. You joke.
We have now.
First of all, we have made it a tourist destination.
Look at it. It's a tourist destination.
Chairman, you know what I did?
That's Portland.
Yes.
Up in the Gungo, Blue Mountain, and I drive through this. Mr. Vaz tell me to look for the square. I drive and find a little opening, and I say, "Is this Molitor square?" No, boss, you pass it. Turn around, I drive again and find another little opening. No, boss, you pass it. I'm like, where is square? It's just where some shops are.
Two shops.
2 shops together.
2 shops.
We set up in 2 hours. And you know, this is a drone shot. The truth is, when you're down on the road, you can't see nothing. You're really not seeing people, houses, or anything like that. Whilst we're setting up, the word get out that we're setting up internet. By the time we finish, you know, it's 200 people gathered in the square, and we're not leaving, they're blocking the cars. We cannot leave until we turn it on. We're just there to just set it up, you know, we're turning it on. And we literally had to take out and just start handwrite some codes and just give out people so we could leave. So right now the capacity they're using much more than your hard academies. It's non-stop.
Yeah.
And we have some new codes to send down to them. But what I did, Chairman, which is I really got to say that you want to reach rural. It was mind blowing for me and for everybody we brought down there for the launch. I brought everybody, World Bank, IFC, the ministry. We invited the Heart too. Yes, Heart was there. That's right.
Yes.
USF, everybody. Because we talk statistics in Kingston. We do, and I do it too in speeches and presentations. I talk about the 34%. When you actually meet the people, it's a different thing, you know. It's not a statistic anymore. It's a person, and they got to know Barbara, who's a grandmother that lived down there, the one with the smart TV that her nephew gave her, kind of thing. And she gave the thank you speech, and in her speech she said what she does every week, she types up all her WhatsApp messages, then once a week takes a taxi down to Buff Bay to send and receive 8 miles, half hour, once a week, and everybody in the audience was looking at each other, embarrassed. As a town person, I'm embarrassed that this is my country in this day and age. It's very embarrassing to hear that. So, and then I brought up her granddaughter, Rikela, who is 7 years old, born 2 days apart from my own daughter. And I had them do the demonstration of the Wi-Fi. But then I said, look, I turned to the minister and everybody said, look, the difference, my daughter lives in Kingston. And if she don't have Wi-Fi for 5 minutes,
That's luck.
all you can relate to that, right? But Rikela have nothing, and the 2 7-year-olds born 2 days apart, right? The future of the country. But for every one child, it's 1,000 or 15 or 2,000 Rikela. So we want to reach the same people, and that's where we're focusing on rolling out ReadyNet rural in all those little communities. Our proposal to the government is 3,000 Wi-Fi hotspots, just like that. Now, where I think there is not a disconnect, but maybe we need to come up with a common policy, and this might be personal. When I see USF Wi-Fi hotspots, anybody can just log on. So I don't know who's using it. And I just think the priority should be people who are students and people who need training and so on. And it's easy to do. Issue them an access card, give them that free data, and everybody else buys. So you could have a Heart Trust access card that is distributed to all Heart students, and you're allocated, pick up a gigabit a month, right? And that gives them access to any hotspot anywhere, right? With the free data. And then anybody else who wants to buy data, they buy it in little packs like usual or excess. I just think that is how much. I've seen it in other countries. That's why I brought it to the Minister's attention, because I just don't. Have you ever tried the USF one in New Kingston? That's the only one I know about that I can access. In Emancipation Park. I've never been able to go on. Any of it, I just try. You can't get on. And I always wonder who is in New Kingston getting access to this free Wi-Fi that shouldn't be paying for it. That's what I think about. You know what I mean? It's probably business people using it. It's, people who should be paying for them data. I don't see students going to Emancipation Park.
So you're saying that businesses might be using it with an extender to run their businesses?
I wonder. Actually, I don't want to call him, but you know what I was thinking was probably using it, the jerk shop right there, and the ice cream. There's a bunch of it. I'm saying, if I was them, that's probably what I would just
Log on.
Let's put down the regular.
right. So, Chairman, that's what we're doing. There are 3 major services in the ReadyNet. There's a Wi-Fi hotspot, but then there's individuals who can get farms. Some of those farms that can't get access to data now. They should. So we're going to have individuals. You can get your own little dish, like a Visa, it's like a DirecTV dish. It's that size, as well as corporate, because corporate redundancy is critical. Because of that fiber break. Listen, we have a trial at Sanders now, and you think that the biggest brand in the Caribbean would get the best service. Their internet is down every other day. Every other day. I'll show you even on WhatsApp this morning. Chris, where are we with the license?
Private jet location.
But our hotels are on the north coast. It really don't matter. It breaks constantly. North coast. So the hoteliers themselves have been screaming for redundancy, because what is happening now is Wi-Fi is like water now to a tourist. You don't have water, you don't have food, you don't have Wi-Fi. I want money for the room, right? The hotels in Portland screaming. Up to this morning, Errol Hannah from Seacliff, that one where beautiful little eco, but his guests want Wi-Fi, and he's paying 300. Him send me a copy of the bill so I can him say I want it. Send it to the minister, and he wants to write. He's paying $380 US a month and he gets 4 megabits per second. So the first guest that goes on and starts to stream, nobody else. Crazy. And that's, Rockford, Hart should be getting good internet. I'm embarrassed as a former flow person that you're not getting it. You should, because you're in town. There should be no reason why you don't have a solid. But I understand Kenilworth. And I know that nobody's going to run. I think the closest rail place is maybe about 2 or 3 miles away. So you have 2 or 3 miles of fiber that nobody's going to use just to get to Kenilworth. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, Chairman, the digital platforms that we are offering and that we want to partner with you guys with, we think Heart is ideal for it and the programs that you're doing, because you can do all your certification online, but get the lessons on the channel. And the channel can be online too, whereas the channel is a channel that's then distributed everywhere, online, broadcast. So by whatever means necessary, a student can access it. If I don't have money to have it online, to get the video on demand, hey, I can make an appointment, because 8 o'clock at night I know that